hope everybody's had a good day, getting everything ready around here. Good Wednesday practice, good 2-minute drill to finish it up, and keep on getting ready for Citadel. Guys are in a good spot. Got a few guys back, which is good. So got to come out here and finish this thing up tomorrow and Friday. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in the Valley on Saturday.
Hey, Coach, it's Trevor Groves from CUTigers.com. I read that the 10 FBS commissioners and Notre Dame's athletic director will vote on whether to include the Big Ten in the college football playoff with only 9 games played. Are you still of the opinion that they should not be included in the playoff?
I'd love for them to be. I think I was asked the question if they played in November, if they started sometime in November. I don't know how that'd be possible. So sounds like they're going to start earlier than that. So, hey, be great. I'm happy for all those kids, first of all, and the coaches that they get an opportunity to go compete.
Anybody with anything else for Coach?
Coach, I guess I'll ask another question. It's a nice start for the ACC. It looks to be a much improved conference this season. Outside of, I think there are 2 Big 12 games this weekend, but it's really been nice exposure, almost exclusive Power 5 exposure for the conference. How nice is that for the ACC to have that kind of platform?
Well, that's great. We have great coverage every single year, and I think our league is definitely going to be strong this year. I think we had maybe 10 bowl teams last year, so we had a lot of teams qualify for postseason. But I don't think this year will be any different. I think there's much improved teams across the board, and some teams that were pretty good last year that I think will be even better.
Hey, Coach, Lawton Swine, Clemson Sports Talk. There's speculation that the recruiting dead period is going to be pushed back until January 1 and no kids on campus, et cetera. What are your thoughts on that potential ruling?
I think that's unfortunate. I don't like that if that's the case. I think that, these kids, there's a lot of kids that are coming mid-year and have worked really hard to get to this point. And personally, I don't see why we could not at least have official visits, in November or December and bring the whoever comes. It was so smaller numbers, unofficial visits, game weekend, you have all kind of people coming in and things like that, or even in December. But I don't see why we could not have official visits where it's a much more smaller controlled group of people, and you could test those people. You could have testing in place and all that. So to me, I hate that for the player.
This is Larry Williams, just following up on the Big Ten thing. Just theoretically, you wouldn't have a problem with the Big Ten being a playoff participant having fewer games.
Shoot, in a year like this, no. I think that it's a crazy year. Who knows how many games anybody's going to have? I think if they'd have started in November, that would have been. I don't think that'd been feasible. But I don't know much about it. But just from what I've heard, they're going to play 8 or 9 games or whatever. Then I think that they certainly will have the opportunity to compete. I have no problem with that at all. I think you got some of the best teams in the country in that league, and it's not those players' fault. It's not those coaches' fault. I'm just glad that they're getting an opportunity to get back to playing. They've all worked their tails off. Most people have no idea what goes into getting a team ready and all the preparation that goes in the off season and so forth. So I'm just happy for them.
Hey, Dabo, it's Pete Ganity. I know that you were, ready to try to go win another title if it was only going to be 3 Power 5 conferences, but do you also feel that it maybe even adds a little bit more that now that the Big Ten will more than likely be involved potentially in the college football playoff this year, that it adds to its credibility, so to speak, and just kind of brings more luster to it?
No, I don't think that at all. If the Big Ten wasn't playing, I don't think it would have changed anything at all to me. I mean, I think whoever wins this has got a chance to be maybe the greatest champion ever, regardless of how many conferences, with all that's been in play and all that everyone has had to deal with, especially these young men. That doesn't have anything to do with it to me. If they're able to come back and play, great. But as far as credibility and all that, shoot, man, it's hard to win, period. I don't care who's in the mix. And, last time I checked, I think there's been, a lot of champions come from the conferences that were already playing. So, I don't think you'd have made it any less competitive. But now, hey, they're back in it. That's, again, as I said, some of the best schools in the country. And just make it even better and make it more fun. Who knows what will happen? You still got to pick the 4 best teams, whoever they are. So now there's just a few more teams to choose from. But we're just focused on us, man, and trying to have a great season. And to do that, we just got to get better. We got to improve, and we got to truly have a mindset of every week is a season of its own.
Hey, Coach, it's David Hood. Considering that the Big Ten and the Pac-12 have been, there's been rumors they would start, there's rumors they wouldn't start. How thankful are you that the ACC and John Swofford just made a decision and then kind of stuck with it without leaving coaches and players twisting in the wind for 5 weeks?
I'm incredibly thankful. Because I think it was the right thing to do. I don't think there's any question about it. And, the right thing to do isn't always the politically correct thing to do, or what everybody else is doing. I think that, the leadership of the presidents of the ACC and the SEC and the Big 12, I mean, they made a decision based on the information that they had, and I'm incredibly thankful to that. I respect other people's decisions. That's, but I just am glad that it worked out for us, so we could get to work. We've already played a game, and could have probably started earlier, to be honest with you. But hey, we're just thankful that we got a chance to get to work and get back to playing. And I'm excited that the Big Ten is going to get back. I mean, again, I'm most happy for the players and the coaches because they are incredibly invested in what they do. And for them to have a chance to go compete and have some structure and keep them all together, I don't have any doubt that they are safer together than they are apart. So I'm happy. I'm super happy for them, and hopefully they'll be able to be a part of the playoff. But, who knows, again, how many games any of us are going to play. We're week to week around here. That's just kind of how we're looking at it. We're just trying to win the day every day. Good Lord gives us another day tomorrow. We're just going to try to win that day.
Hey, Coach, it's Trevor again. We had a nice conversation with Reagan Upshaw yesterday. He had the nice game last Saturday. You seem to take a lot of pride in the developmental guys, the Kevin Dodds and Grady Jarrett's and Robert Smiths of the world. How nice was that to see him get off to that start? And at what point did you think, hey, he's really going to be able to help us this season?
I thought he could help. I felt like he had the ability to help us for the last couple of years, to be honest with you. But it was just a matter of getting him in the right spot. And I actually moved him in, I guess, last year, and he spent the year really trying to learn. He had been at linebacker, and it just was going to be hard for him to get on the field as a linebacker. With the guys that we had, and just his foundation of football. He never played football. People don't know that. He just started playing football when he came to Clemson. He was a world-class rugby player, literally a world-class rugby player. He's one of the most fascinating stories I've ever been around. Truly a world-class rugby player, a hockey player, And obviously his dad is Reagan Upshaw, and his mom's name is Solar. And the story goes, Reagan's mom and dad were at it was either a basketball tournament or a volleyball tournament with Reagan's sister up in Brevard, North Carolina, several years ago. And they came down from Brevard and they decided to spend the night in Clemson. And they checked in a hotel here. And it just so happened to be a weekend that we were having, or a time when we were having football camp. And, the story that I got was when they checked in the hotel, Big Reagan got out and drove around Clemson, and he drives over and he sees this football camp. And apparently he came and stopped by and I guess was very impressed with just what he saw. Nobody even knew he was here as far as how we do camp. And went back. And he told his wife, because they were supposed to be leaving the next morning, he said, well, I'm not going to leave. I need to be here another day. And so he came back. I still have never met him. I've met Solar several times, but I still have never met Big Reagan. And so he came back because he just wanted to watch. And he told his wife, like, I've never seen anybody do a camp the way I just saw it. And he goes back, and Reagan decides that he wants to start playing football. And so the next year, Reagan's senior year, going into his senior year, they sent him to the Clemson camp. And so he comes to the Clemson camp, and I'll never forget it because Venables comes up to me in camp, and he goes, I got this guy in camp. He goes, he's never played football. He's never played football, but he can fly. He's strong. He's got a motor. He's like, this guy, he would be a great walk-on guy. And so anyway, before the camp was over, I got the chance to meet Reagan and his mom. And I just kind of laid out the vision for him. I just said, hey, you know what? You're a long way away from being a good football player because you don't really know the game. You got a lot to learn. But if you want to do this, we would love to have you as a walk-on. And I didn't think, and then his mom told me that he had all kind of like professional opportunity in rugby all over the world. But he wanted to chase his football dream. And so he comes to the camp and he decides, this is what I'm going to do. And if you know anything about Reagan, when he sets his mind to something, there's just nothing that's going to stop him. That's just how Reagan is. I mean, he's one of the most uniquely wired young men you will ever meet. And so he comes in here, and again, so much to learn, a little overwhelming. Redshirt freshman year, still overwhelmed. Redshirt sophomore year, got in on a little special teams, but the linebacker play was just, it just was an enormous amount for a guy who's not played football. But every day I'd notice him in the scout team. And so last year I went to him and I said, hey, here's what I think your gifts are. And what if we put you at end? And talked to Ski about it. And so we moved him to end. So we spent last year learning how to play it. And now, man, his gifts are shining through because he's really learned the position. And it's come natural to him. He's a big-time effort guy. He's strong. Obviously, he doesn't have the ideal measurables that you would want in a defensive end, but it don't matter with that guy. I mean, he plays like he's 6'3". And so I'm just really proud of him, man. I love that guy. And, he's in fact, he's a captain for us this weekend in the game. And he's just one of the most committed guys we've had come through here, and very self-aware, knows what he's had to do. And so, yeah, I take incredible amount of pride in seeing guys put the work in and transform. And that's what Reagan's done. So he's going to help this football. He's already off to a good start. He'll be a guy that'll help us all year long. He's a really hard guy to block off the edge. He doesn't have a lot of surface to him as far as length, and he's so strong and he's got a relentless motor. So I'm excited about him. There's a lot of people going to be going, who is number 53 throughout this season? And he's a starter on multiple special teams, but he's earned it, man. He's put the work in, and really, really proud of it. And I really like him because me and him have the same birthday too. So how about that?
Take a couple more for Coach.
Hey, Coach, it's David again. Going back to recruiting, obviously having guys come on campus during game days, that's huge. So how have you kind of, I know that there were a lot of virtual visits and things like that earlier, but how have you kind of tweaked the whole recruiting experience? And, will your coaches be able to go out and see guys on Friday nights that are still playing, that their teams are playing?
No, it's dead. It's dead for us. So we
Yeah.
can't do anything. But we've tried to make the best of it, just like we have with everything else during this time. Okay, well here's what we're dealing with. How do we make the best of it? And so we've just tried to keep the glass half full. And like you said, a lot of virtual visits. We've done virtual tours. We've done a little bit of everything. And I think like this weekend we'll have, I'll normally on home games they'll bring guys through, I'll meet them, and I'll just do that virtually, and do the best we can. So I hate that, but that's just where we are right now, and hopefully this will be a one-time situation for all of us.
Hey, Dabo, this is Will Vandervoort. Just curious, how different is going to be loading the buses for the Hill and all? And are you going to have extra time since you're going to have to use more buses and kind of do it a little bit different as far as, how you're going to get the players to the other side of the Hill?
Yeah, it might be a little bit more time to load the buses and get on around there, but we'll make it work. Coach Batson's a master at exactly what the time frame's got to be and all that, but it's going to be fun, man. We're just excited and looking forward to it, and can't wait to see everybody in the Valley that can be there, and those that will be watching on TV. We're going to try to put on a good show for you.
We'll take one final one for Coach.
Hey, Dabo, Josh from the Post and Courier. I believe it was actually after a loss to Citadel in 1931 that IPTAY was formed. Just how much, where would Clemson football be without IPTAY?
Probably wouldn't be here. I don't know. It probably wouldn't be in existence, or would be a Division III program or something like that. I mean, IPTAY is amazing, and the fan base of Clemson is incredible. Especially when you look at the depth of our alumni base. I mean, we have maybe 120,000 alumni, something. Maybe I don't even know if we have that many, but probably got about 18,000 IPTAY. And so you don't have a lot of people, especially when you compare to some of the other major programs out there. But everybody just has always done, their part with IPTAY. And started out I pay 10 a year, and kind of a grassroots deal, and it's still that way to this day. And we've got great leadership in IPTAY, but they pay for everything. I mean, they pay for everything. All these scholarships. I know people sometimes they don't think that's real money that's being spent on these scholarships, but I sign off on those things every year, and I see $58,000 for this player. These are checks going to the university, and all that's paid through IPTAY. So we've just got incredible organization, tremendous donors that are so generous and supportive of the program, that allow us to do so many things, whether it be capital gifts, like I said, scholarships, have unbelievable academic services, strength conditioning, to have the type of band that we have, you name it. IPTAY is a part of all that stuff. So I'm not sure where we would be without that structure.
All right. With that, we're